Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews. Rekhs, who's the subtitlist of Bahubali 2 and 2.0 and Interan and several other big films, visited Chicago this past weekend, and also Samantha Jo Goes joined us for a wonderful conversation. In this first part, we talked about caste and racism in America. And this part 2, we have a discussion about the business of subtitling in India and really get into a deep dive of it. Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm joined here with Rekhs, her grandniece Ananya, and Samantha of Samantha Jo Goes. I'm learning so much from them too, because as we discussed, my family doesn't really want to go to these movies with me and discuss these films, but I've seen 500 Indian films now, I think. But there's still so much that I have to learn. I guess that's part of what I love about it. I want to learn more about the culture. Each film, when I get one of the jokes without having it explained to me, I feel like it's a little victory.
How many movies have you done so far?
I don't even know how many video reviews I've done, because just total videos I've done a lot of trailer reactions, so there can be multiple videos for one particular movie. I should probably count.
No, how many videos? How many reactions?
Hundreds of videos. But I know I keep track in a diary on a site called Letterboxd, which is a film diary. So you can keep track even if you've seen a film multiple times. So for instance, I know I've seen Bahubali 2, I think 11 times.
Wow, really?
So I keep track of it. Even if I watch it again, you can relog it again that you've watched it again. And you can kind of get stats like how, certain directors that you've seen, a lot of,
Mani Ratnam.
I think I've seen 12 or 13 of his films. He's one of,
favorites.
But I started it even before I watched any films, but I can keep track of all of that. Just, I could go back and look, okay, well, did I see that old film of his? Was it, for me, because it's hard to remember from a few years back. And also just to keep track of ones that I have yet to see, because like Shah Rukh Khan, I've seen 55 of his films, but I think he's made like 70, so I still have a couple of the older, more obscure ones that I've saved. Shakti the Power, I think, is one that I bought on DVD and I haven't watched yet, so yeah, there's still more Mani Ratnam.
But I'm so glad you're enjoying this, and your heart is in it, like it's something you love doing.
I do, and I there's movies that I'm seeing that are so beautiful and so wonderful and enrich my life so much and enhance my worldview, and I just can't even imagine like having missed out. Pariyam Parimal is just one example. Kara Kanchipalam, this amazing Telugu film from last year, just touched my heart so deeply, and I'm just so thankful that these are the kind of films that my viewers commented and hounded me and said, what do you mean you haven't seen this film yet?
That is so nice that they wanted you to see it.
But they also know what I like, and they know I love that they've learned we know you're going to love this film. You have to make sure that you see it. Or if I come out with the best films like RV, I hadn't included that in my top 10, and there was a near riot. There was a near riot, and I had not seen that.
How dare you?
And then I think it came on Amazon Prime. We're like, okay, I promise.
But Melanie, aren't you surprised at how the Indian viewers react or respond to your review and reach out to you?
I love it. That's my favorite thing about it, is that I feel like I'm having a conversation, and I think you felt that too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And from you also do Quora, so it's also a back and forth. That's the best thing about it. I'm having this conversation with people on the other side of the world, and they're introducing and telling me about things or backstories about a film or just things that might be impossible for me to find. Or I could say, this trailer was released without subtitle. Help! How many times have I... Not your films. You if you're involved with film, the trailer is going to be subtitled. But so many other films, Samantha's like, she feels my pain.
It's hard because you don't, like, you might get the vibe completely wrong based on the words.
That's true. You know, a friend of mine who's an American and he's a film critic called Lyle Pearson, very famous. He and I went for a Telugu movie, and I do understand a lot of Telugu, and we came back and told each other a different story because it didn't have subtitles, and it's so easy for an American to imagine his or her own story, you know. It's like, especially the climax, you don't know what's happening, and he had got all the relationship also wrong. I mean, the father-daughter, he thought was the father-wife, and I mean, I'm not saying it because I'm a subtitles, but I'm saying it can easily mislead you.
Right.
Besides not catching the nuances or the joke or something like that, you know.
Right. Well, and I know you go the extra mile to explain things in the film, relationship words that we don't have in English, right? I mean, there's not a special word for your father's mother or it's just uncle or whatever. There's not those relationship words that are just part of the language that clue you into everyone's relationship.
Yeah, but that's again Lyle who I should thank, because when he said, when you say uncle, there's only one word in English which is uncle, but here in Tamil you have different chittappa, peripa, so the dad's younger brother, dad's older brother. So he was the one who gave me this idea that somewhere in the conversation, in some other subtitle, put it as, oh, my dad's sister or dad's brother. So whoever wants to get it will know that there's a difference if it's a very family-oriented movie.
Right. You don't have to do it every single thing, but at least, like you say, one time to mention it.
Yeah.
Then
And not in this bracket. I hate it when they say, oh, they had breakfast and then put it in brackets, dosa and vada. You are not bothered whether they ate dosa or vada or pancake or whatever. Unless it's like a Hitchcock movie where they're poisoning you with that dosa or vada and you have to know.
Yeah, I think, not having subtitles for trailers is one of my...
The other thing that Heather Wilson said is when you have a poster or something that you don't know the language, so you write it so you know what the impact is, because the directors obviously put that poster there for a reason.
My biggest, Judgmental Haikya made me absolutely insane because I don't think it was a huge plot point, but when Kangana would pass, there was a guy just standing holding posters with Hindi script on them, and I think they changed, and she would kind of get a little smile or laugh or whatever, and it had something to do with her mental state at that moment. They never translated any of those signs, and it was so frustrating to me. I got the gist of the whole movie, but I was missing something.
Yeah,
and it would have been so easy to subtitle that moment.
Yeah, and you don't have the picture of that to even come back and Google and find out what it meant, even if you wanted to know.
Right, that's true. So do you get the visual as well as the audio when you're doing your subtitle? Or
Yeah,
is that, do you think that
but that's the biggest world war here. I get the visual, but that's for the censor. And then the new censor rule, you have to submit with subtitles for if you want to screen it within India. And then unfortunately the censor rule says that you can change the RR and the sound mix later as long as you're not changing the shots. So I do each movie twice, sometimes thrice. So all the subs go non-sync because the director gives it for censor, takes it back, then they do the re-recording and the sound mix, and I'm going back to do the same movie all over again. And at that point, after the censor, and when they're sending it to you people to watch, sometimes I get only the audio and I don't know, and it's very difficult to time code. Hats off to AP International. I don't know how they manage to almost 99.99% get it right, but how do you know with audio? First of all, how do you know whether that scene is over or not over, and to make sure that the time coding is right?
So maybe that was a situation in that particular movie. Maybe the subtitlist only had the audio and didn't.
I've seen it in others too, like Mercury in Tamil. There was a scene.
Mercury is a silent movie.
No, but towards the beginning, they had a lot of newspaper clippings talking about the school and what had
true.
happened in the background, and I was just like, What's happening?
But Mercury is the reason that we're having this new rule, because
Really?
it was subtitled later and the RO found out it was subtitled and it was a silent movie, and that's when she complained to the center, and that's how I'm in this fix. But no offense to Mercury, but that was the movie that has made me watch each movie with video, with audio, and do the same thing twice and thrice. But that is why I think the censor board has to bring in an amendment that when you submit to them, it has to be the final. Who would do a pre-final and then redo the same thing? It doesn't make sense, right?
So was there something in Mercury? I'm trying to remember. Was there something in Mercury that was a visual that should have had?
Towards the beginning, there were those newspaper clippings.
No, but I mean, was
sorry.
there something that they wanted to censor that got through because it was visual instead of a subtitle or
I have
something?
no clue. I didn't subtitle
No.
the film and I have no clue. But
Yeah.
this is what the RO told me, and Mercury was the reason that she started doing this. And I went to her and I said, please do this amendment because I can't do this twice and thrice. First of all, when I'm doing one movie a week or sometimes two movies a week, I don't have that kind of time to do it also. The time frame is so important, right?
Yeah, we talked in our Skype interview, just kind of the whole flow, and it was fascinating to me. And then how it gets translated into Arabic, and like just all of the
and
the back
Arabic
and forth.
you can't send the real movie for the Arabic translation. So only my English subs go to Arabic, and for a long time we did not know that the Arabic that was translated was gibberish because our English subtitles did not have a mention whether it was male or female talking, and that makes a difference to the Arabic language, and that's when we invented the gender code.
Oh, wow.
So after we finished the movie, sorry if it's a
No,
repeat.
go ahead.
After we finished the movie, each dialogue we write whether it's male or female and singular and plural, and there is something like 2,500 to 3,000 subtitles a movie, and then we send it for Arabic. And then when the censor is over and there are new dialogues added or deleted, and we don't even know Arabic, and we have to sit through the whole 2,500 subtitles and check which has been added or deleted and remove or add and go back for Arabic again.
It's too much.
And this is all within 48 hours.
Do you sleep?
Look at my hair!
She does not sleep. Like the hours that you put into these films is just stunning to me, and because it's all such a tight time frame that some of these films are under. It's kind of crazy.
You know, when I was talking about a company not paying me for a movie, there's a couple of companies that haven't. We can do the editing later. When a journalist was asking me about a company not paying me, I just asked her, how much do you think I would be charging per movie? Just, I wanted to have an idea. Okay, now that you know what all I'm doing, tell me how much I would be charged for a movie.
I would pay you 5 lakh.
Melanie?
I don't know in rupees or whatever.
No,
but
go
like,
ahead and say in your millions. I mean, you don't have to say million, but I mean in your
I
American.
don't know, like $10,000.
Which is what? Into 70. Which is what?
It's like,
7 lakhs, she's saying.
Yeah, so you're more than me.
Okay.
You're saying 7 lakhs. See what happened when I before the digital era, when we were doing it in NFDC, it was the film thing, and NFDC was the only person having the calibrating machine. Somewhere down the line, 5th or 6th year, one of the very, very big celebrity stars' father, and I don't know if he wants to be named, so he asked me, what is this you're charging? Which is 0.0001% of whatever the investment is, and what's wrong with you? And depending on your theater release and the difference in the movie coming out. And then subsequently we had Amazon and Netflix and all these digital platforms showing our films, so we were breaking barriers of language and latitude. So what is 1 lakh in a 200 crore project? 0.002%. It is not even 0.1%, it's 0.002% compared to what the subtitles, the reach and the effect and the turnover and the money they get back.
I mean, we
A
talked about
Bahubali with
Yes.
English went French, Russian, Spanish, Arabic, English, Hindi. Within India itself, it goes to Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, right? I'm not saying Bahubali didn't pay me. I'm just saying
No,
that
but that's an example of the
reach.
the worldwide reach that a subtitled
So
film
it's
can have.
pittance. It's like absolutely pittance, and I think the subtitles, we are not even named in the trailer or poster or anywhere.
Well, I want to see. You have made a point of, and when I see that you've subtitled something, then I know. Okay, I'm gonna. This is. I mean, because sometimes it's painful. So who knows?
There was like I saw, it was like spinach, you dice and grind my thoughts, and I was just like, what is happening?
So no, exactly. This reporter said 2 to 5 lakhs. So even if you're an American, you weren't far off. An Indian reporter said 2 to 5 lakhs, and in my dream, and I don't even want that kind of money as long as I'm given enough time and reasonable amount for the effort my team and I put in.
I mean, I do know because we worked helping a young filmmaker get a film to Sundance, and so I didn't realize kind of that whole process, and that to get into Sundance Film Festival, they sort of were sending a rough draft, and they knew that the filmmaker was going to keep working on it until the very last moment, and I think that's what you're dealing with. Problem is the subtitles as an afterthought. They're not setting a whole schedule. Their time frame, the filmmakers, is getting all their editing, the music, the visual effects, whatever it is, and then they're not allowing time, and then we've got to get it to the censor and the subtitlist to do that finishing.
But there are a lot of low budget films, not the biggies, the decent, the smaller ones, who are very professional in the sense they know this takes this kind of time and they make the budget and the time frame. I really appreciate that. It's not, that's why we can get there. It's not that we can't.
But they have to have it in their mindset that this is going to be part of the process, in the same way that you would allow time for editing, that you would allow certain time for visual effects to be finished. You have to allow and let you know the calendar as well and not be surprised.
No, the problem is the editor. Most often, the editor and the director do not know that it has to be re-time coded and rechecked again. They do not know. So they say it's the same. The length is the same, Rekhs, don't worry. I hate that line, length is the same, Rekhs. So what I do is I keep the censor file and what I've changed, what I've checked, and show it to them and say, listen, here the same dialogue is 2 minutes 12 seconds. The same dialogue here is 2 minutes 14 seconds. So in that 2 seconds for you, Melanie, it's going to come that many frames later.
Oh,
you're going to get
How
irritated.
annoying is that when you're watching something and the subtitles get out of sync? It's really, oh my gosh.
Especially when
so
it's significantly behind.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
And it's not always, because in between there'll be a song and then again there'll be a lag, so you have to do the entire checking. So
yeah,
but we shall overcome.
You're
I'm
patient.
very sure.
But I think everyone needs to realize the standards that you hold and that you put on yourself, that you want it to be right. You want it to be the best that it possibly can be. Not just the best English, but to be have the time codes correctly so we don't go like
In fact, that's what Heather said. Heather Wilson kept saying, I'm thankful there's some subtitles, and I spoke to her and I said, don't say some subtitles. We've come to the stage when it's going to be good subtitles, so why settle for second best?
Yeah.
And now she's changed. I'm so proud of you, Heather. You've changed.
Anyway, this has been a wonderful discussion. Thanks for joining me for this conversation. There is even more to come. We had a wonderful day that we spent, all of us together, and we recorded a couple other special things, so look for those videos coming soon.